Hi there, I'm Duke, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection, UK. Yo Joe, I am Jay, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection, UK. And what better time than what is now known as Yo Joe June than to do an updated GI Joe collection tour. So that's what this video today will be, as I show a lot of changes that have happened to the toy room. So you'll see different mint on card figures behind me at the moment, and I'm sort of in the middle of a flux around the toy room, changing all the units up. So some are done and some are still to come. So I will do a full video documenting the changes. We've sort of got double deep units that have made it into the collection, as you can probably see behind me there. So lots of changes to come, but today we are focusing on GI Joe. So we're still in a state of change as I try to move everything around, but the first thing I've done is get some sort of magnetic double-sided covers here to put my sort of A4 posters in. So try to get a poster representing all different collections. So GI Joe has this classic Snake Eyes cover of Marvel Comics, and you can see hopefully Biker Mice from Mars will join us at some point in the future. So as we come up the side of this unit, what I have actually done is I've got one unit now going in front of the other. So as you come round, you get a double deep display, which is what I will take you through now. So that's the new view as you walk in through the door that is no longer a door. Of course, it's a curtain. So we've got the double deep units, and I've gone for 2 of GI Joe, which has given me sort of 4 overall shelves here of the GI Joe collection itself, with plenty of room to expand with all the upcoming stuff from the GI Joe. So that's where they are placed in the room. So I now try and get you a closer look. Right then, here we go. Yo Joe June, shelf number 1. So the cutout graphic is of the new GI Joe packaging design, which came with a torpedo and copperhead. So we'll start at the front of the display in this corner, and we'll start over here with the Baroness herself. So she is the version that came with the red motorcycle, but that was a bit of a weird one. So that's at the back, and I think Destro's on that, and she's stolen some dynamite there from Firefly, I think that came with. So of course, famous on this channel is of course Sergeant Slaughter himself. So he gets a nice front area of the display with his mini version there. Of course, if you want to see the Battle of the Sarges, do find that video on the channel. One of them is introduced by Sergeant Slaughter. There's Duke, one of the earlier figures in the classified line. Not one of the best, I don't think, but that was the second version, because the first version was very gold. He is on a Marvel Legends display, if anyone recognises that. I think that's from Captain America, is it? Way back in a Series 1 of Marvel Legends. And he has got the Valorverse gun there. I have switched out the Valorverse weapons because they can be quite floppy from Hasbro. Then there is Gung Ho. That is the retro carded version of Gung Ho in his more sort of classic colour scheme, rather than the, again, weird version we have before that I have sold. Beachhead is behind him there. He was quite a hard one to get hold of, I think, back in the day, wasn't he? He was one of those ones that was a limited release here in the UK. And Firefly is up there. Again, I think he's getting a... Is he getting a retro carded version? They're definitely doing a version 2 of Firefly. Maybe it isn't on the retro card, though. But that is the current Cobra Island version, I think, of Firefly. So he's on a screw and some twisty ties to have him flying above the display there with Major Blood. And Zorana there just behind, because she doesn't stand very well, so she's in the gap between the shelves. I have lit the shelves up here with the classics all LED strips, but quite primitive lighting I've gone for, just to try and get some light in these cubes, because as they are now double deep, they are literally, what, over 24 inches in depth on the shelf, so it's a long way to the back. So I do have to use tongs, actual tongs from the kitchen, to reach the figures at the back. So once they're in there, they're not moving. So if we come over to this side, Pimp Daddy Destro gets a front row spot, again with the Marvel Legends base. That is the version that came with Red Skull, and his gun again has been switched out for the Valorverse version of the gold gun, because again they are much more sturdy than the floppy stuff we get from the GI Joe Classified. There's a Cobra officer just behind him. Then we have Lady J, and of course Flint with his dodgy sort of detachable shotgun thing that he has there. So he is behind there, and Destro's cloak is draped over the front there. So that's the front of the first cube. Right, we then make our way to the back shelf, and there is Spirit. Again, my Spirit does not stand up for Toffee, so he's actually leaning on the Sky Striker there with the help of the Eagle. I think it's Freedom, isn't it, the Eagle? 2 Alley Vipers. I got them in the, I got one of them at least in the Star Action Figures sale. And Star Action Figures here in the UK for the massive sale on the Viper 3-pack from £90 down to £24.99. So I have ordered one of those, and that should be coming next week. And then we have the version of Outback, the Tiger Force version of Outback there behind the Sky Striker. And then, of course, the Sky Striker itself. So this, of course, is not classified. This is the Haslab Sky Striker. This is the 3 3/4 inch sort of retro version of the Sky Striker. But I have actually used the base because it was on the back wall where GI Joe used to go. And I was thinking about putting it on the ceiling, but as I didn't have enough figures to fill the shelf, I thought at the moment I'll put it on there, put it on its base and sort of have it flying over the collection. So it doesn't particularly scale great, but I think as a display piece it looks alright sort of where it is there. Right, then the final bit of the top shelf, the one at the back. At the top there we have the first version, I think, of Snake Eyes. So he is dangling off the side there, sort of opposites, so I can use the sort of screw holes to Firefly there, where you would normally attach the units to the wall. So I've made use of all the space I've got. So there is Duke on his sort of Tiger Force repaint of the bike there. Again, that was in the Hasbro Pulse sale, so that was really cheap. There is Bazooka. There is, of course, if you search through the channel, Bazooka on the Bog. I reviewed one of the Bazookas on the toilet. I forget which one it actually was. I think it was the other one, but there's definitely Bazooka on the Bog on the channel. Over here, then, we have the rest of the sort of Python Patrol and Tiger Force at the back there. So we got the bats and the vipers and the commander for the Tiger Force. So Tiger Force and Python Patrol was at the back. If I come around trying to get an angle there, you should be able to see Scarlet, one of the red sort of ninjas, and Destro is sort of riding the bike at the back. So the ones I wasn't too impressed with, I've sort of gone at the back of the collection. So you do get a sort of nice view if I sort of pan over the top there. So I think these sort of double deep shelves look more like some kind of Comic Con display I can try and get going, because it gives me a more depth to play with. And of course, there is a massive gap there for either the Haslab Hiss Tank or, of course, the well, you know, Serpentor and his air chariot that I joined Hasbro Pulse Premium to get. And of course, probably a year later nearly, still hasn't bloody turned up. So still waiting for Serpentor. So there's a big fuck-off gap there waiting to be filled. Right, down we go then over to shelf number 2. And we'll start at the front here with Stalker. So his effect again is from Valaverse, because I have used the Action Force Valaverse sort of effects there. And the base, again, Marvel Select this time, rather than Marvel Legends. That came with a movie Iron Man, I think it came with. I think it was a movie one. I think it's in my pile to try and sell, but that was a big sort of base where you could attach Iron Man to it. So the sort of jet engine and wing. So I thought that might work with GI Joe. The twins are behind there with the Crimson Guard. So Zaymont and Tomax, I forget which one's which. One has a scar, one doesn't. One has it in the figure, one has it in the cartoon. Something along those lines. They mix it up. So one has his gun and one has his knife, is how I display them there. And I've got one Crimson Guard. Trying not to army build too hard. There's far too many toys in this room for massive army building. So just the one Crimson Guard for me. And then we have Storm Shadow himself with a bit of a dodgy pose there. But my legs are quite stiff and I think they need heating up. So he's again gone on the screw on the side there. While we're doing screws over here, we've got the other Bazooka. Again, he's quite stiff. So all the ones that don't stand up, they're on the screws up there. Down we go then to Lady J. I do like Lady J. She's got this cool sort of like little iPad thing on her trousers there, so I do like that. And then we got Breaker on his bike. He was a bit of a flop, wasn't he? I think he completely shelf warmed. He's been about £24 in the sales, so he didn't sell as well as I thought he would. Dusty is over there. He was standing up. He's gone a bit floppy, but it is hot, really hot at the moment over here in the UK. It's 22 degrees in here, so I have got a fan in the toy room now, but I've had to turn it off to get the audio to work on the video itself. So we come over here to some Cobra sort of troopers, I guess, and they're just basic Cobra troopers there, with Cobra Commander shooting off his little gun into the sky, and he's got his base behind there. That came with Bucky. That came with a Marvel Select Bucky, and then there is one of the Vipers behind him. I might sell that one because I'm getting the free pack. I don't want too many of them. And then we've got Snake Eyes in his commando outfit down there, and his little buddy himself. Of course, there's Timber down there. Over to Zartan, of course, the Master of Colour Change. That is the... Is it the Pulse exclusive or the STCC exclusive? Some form of exclusive. Where does he colour? I think he colour changes. I'm sure he colour changes, but I've never actually done it. And as we get deeper in now, then there is Copperhead, and there is the Amazon exclusive version of Roadblock. They've done loads of Roadblocks, but I've managed to sell most of them and just keep the one, I think. And then there is Torpedo, very famous on this channel. If you haven't seen it yet, do go check out the video and see if Torpedo sinks or swims, because I put him in the bathtub, and spoiler, I can confirm the bugger just sinks to the bottom of the bathtub. So no, he doesn't swim, so he's not going to be very good as an underwater diving sort of fella, is he? Just going to the bottom of the water. But in terms of figure, that's really cool. Torpedo is one of the best figures, I think, here in the GI Joe collection. So Crocmaster and Fiona are way back there. I don't know if I can get the camera around the angle really to show you. You can kind of see Fiona's head peeking through. And again, he is on the swamp base from Toad, from the very first Marvel Legends figure, Toad, way back in Wave 1. So I've used the base to make the swamp, and then there's Barbecue in the background, and a couple of mint on card. Did manage to pick up Destro and Baroness in the sale, but never got around to opening them, so they're kind of at the back, filling space. And there is one lonely Cobra Bat. So before we move on to the rest of the collection, which is Super 7, let's talk some Haslab speculation. So it has been announced this coming Monday, the Haslab for 2023 will be announced. So it will be classified. Of course, I do have the Hiss Tank on pre-order, and again, one of the reasons for having these big double deep shelves is the Hiss Tank will probably go at the back on that shelf, and we can have all the characters fighting behind it. So I think that will fit nicely in there, because that is going to be a big vehicle. But we know it's going to be a vehicle, and I think we know it's going to be a GI Joe vehicle this time from all the teasers to go against the Hiss Tank. But what would you like to see? So please, in the comments below, do let me know predictions, or if you're watching it after, so you can sort of test your predictions. What are we going to get for the 2023 Haslab project, and will you be getting it? So I would like a Mobat. I think I want a big old green army tank that will go up against the Hiss Tank. So that's what I want. Wouldn't mind a Wolverine either. If I could have a Wolverine, I'd be quite happy with a Wolverine sort of version of CoverGirl with the Wolverine. Or rumours are rife out there. It's going to be a dragonfly. It's going to be a Wild Bill and his helicopter, the dragonfly. I'm not too keen, so I'm hoping that isn't what it actually turns out to be, because that's probably going to be a sort of 20-25 inch long helicopter, and that's going to cock me a Sky Striker right up, isn't it, really? Because I can't have a helicopter that's longer than the Sky Striker. So with flying vehicles, if I just show you my Star Wars stuff on top, flying vehicles, I do like to have the 3 3/4 inch version sort of above the collection. As you can see there, the Falcon, the TIE Fighter, and over in the corner we've got the X-Wing and Boba Fett's ship up there. So I like to dangle those bit of perspective, and I eventually probably will dangle the Sky Striker from the ceiling. But I can't scale a helicopter in 6-inch scale with a 3 3/4 inch aeroplane, can I? So let's hope it's not that. But maybe I do hope it is that, because I can probably pass on it and save myself what's likely to be around a £300 bill. So I want a tank, but I think we're getting a helicopter. So that is my speculation, and do let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see. Right then, Super 7 Sunbow cartoon time. So over here we have a double deep shelf on the other side of the room of the Super 7 Series 1 of their Ultimate Sunbow cartoon GI Joe figures, and I absolutely love these figures. There is a full sort of unboxing of Wave 1 on the channel, and they are really cool. They look exactly like the cartoons. So my introduction to GI Joe was really through the Hasbro Classified Toys, and I started researching it, and I went on YouTube, and you can watch the 1980s Sunbow cartoon of GI Joe, and I absolutely loved it. It's what really got me excited about the line. So when Super 7 announced sort of cartoon versions, I jumped on board and went all in with all the waves, and Wave 1 did not disappoint. These figures look absolutely great in hand. So there is Duke himself at the front, again using a Marvel Select base that came with Black Widow. At the back, we've got the Bat, and he is using the barrels from the said base of Marvel Select Black Widow, so she's doing me a nice favour there. The back of the packaging is a sort of a classic sort of bomb explosion, so I've cut that out and put it on the flight stand behind it just to give me a sort of Cobra GI Joe background, really, for Cobra Commander, who does look amazing. So you get a ton of accessories with these Super 7 figures, and Cobra Commander really, I think, is the highlight of Wave 1. He looks absolutely excellent. And then there, of course, is Snake Eyes and Timber over the other side. So I do enjoy these figures. They do look like the cartoon, and they do sort of match. If I sort of pan up there, your Thundercats and your He-Man is kind of what the display I'm going for overall. So you can get all these sort of 80s properties from Super 7 together. The only thing that has me concerned with these, though, is Wave 2, because I've just seen a load of reviews now. Some people have got them in hand, and they haven't painted the bloody skin tones, have they, Super 7? What are we doing, Super 7? So Duke's got some lovely paint there, and it looks like the cartoon, but Flint and Lady J and the Baroness haven't got an ounce of paint on the flesh tone, so they're not going to match, and they're going to irritate me. Destro, on the other hand, I think looks brilliant from Wave 2, but I don't know why, if it's a cock-up from the factory, which Super 7 do seem to have quite a lot of lately, so they are starting to get quite a bit on my tits, really. So we can sort this out, Super 7. Some of these figures, like this Wave, is bloody brilliant, so don't fuck it up. That's my advice to Super 7. But that is GI Joe Sunbow cartoon figures, Wave 1, excellent. And as a little Brucey bonus to sort of end off today, Action Force goes quite well with GI Joe. So there, of course, is the Action Force collection. So done by Bobby Valor over at Valorverse. Of course, Action Force was GI Joe's name in the 80s in the UK. And these are pretty good figures, to be honest with you. Articulation is very solid on them. They're all sort of well-built figures. Paint apps are good. And the guns are stiff, so that is really, really nice to see. So haven't got a lot of them, but I've got kind of a few. I've got most of the figures really from Wave 1, a few from Wave 2. I've got the Kill Switch, I should say, from Wave 3. My Eclipse got cancelled by Toys R Us, unfortunately, so have to see if they get a re-release in the UK. But the Swarm at the back there, the sort of wasp-like character, I think that's a really cool character, and I do like the Night Force version of Steel Brigade at the front there. So nice little collection from Valorverse. I think they'll be doing a vehicle soon to come, so don't think I'll have room for that one, but we'll see how it goes, really. So not a lot of room to expand Action Force. We'll have to see if they can grow into a bigger shelf or they stay over there in the corner. But that's my sort of supplementary Action Force collection to go with my GI Joes. And that was it then, really, ladies and gentlemen. Just a shorter one from me today. Kicking off Yo-Jo Jr. in style, just going through the updated collection. Lots of coverage, I'm sure, to come on the channel of Yo-Jo Jr. as we go through. We've already had a couple of let's keep that in. I can't even say render reveals. That was a bit of a tongue twister, wasn't it? So we had Grunt shown off yesterday, and another figure I already can't remember what it was. So they're coming out. The Haslab is coming. So lots going on for GI Joe. So keep it up, Hasbro. Keep it up, Super 7. Super 7 fixture paint apps, and I'll see you on the next video. So thank you all for watching. I am Jay. This has been Jay's Toy Collection UK. Please do, of course, comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video.